Show me love, make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love, show me light, show me love. Make a change. Time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me light, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love, show me love. This is all we got. Show me love. This is all we got.
Good morning, my beautiful people. Yes, show me life, show me love. Welcome. Inspirational Beauty with Lulu-Lee. We're here, 10th episode. I'm saying it and I can't believe I'm saying it. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to actually, doing this milestone of 10 episodes. I remember the first one, I was over here stressing, crying, technical issues, and yet nothing changed. Episode 10, I'm still stressing, crying, and technical issues. So but I'm so excited to have you guys here. Please, we have a live chat. If you're here with us on YouTube, Facebook, our chat is live. So say hi. Let us know what's your name, where you from. I always like to know that. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Hi, Yush. Hi. So today's episode, the beauty of living from the soul. I'm really excited about this one because it's truly something that leads me on my day to day. And my guest is incredible. I'm so excited to have her here, and she's going to come up in a few minutes right after my monologue. But I really think that living from the soul is something that once we tap into that, it really changes our lives forever, because the ego mind is kind of a beast. Hello, hello. But when we're coming from here, from that center place, life looks totally different. So 10 episode. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Tamara. Um, so, I would love to kind of get into this whole subject. And with my guest too, she has incredible view. She developed a whole method about living a soulful life. So I'm going to let her speak to many different angles and aspects of living from the soul. But the one I'm going to choose is time. That's the aspect I want to share with you guys as far as when it comes to living from the soul. Reminding you again, click on those hearts, pick up the algorithm so more people can share the live. Good morning. Happy to be here from Florida. Hi. Thank you so much. Hi, Joanne. I'm happy you are here, and I'm happy Michal introduced us. Thank you for being here from Florida. I love it. I know Florida is here, New York is here, Israel is here. It's popping. So what does it mean living from the soul when it comes to time? We are so many times rushed, right? In general, first and foremost, time is an emotion to me. That's how I look at it. Energy in motion, right? You know it that when you're having a great time, time flies. And when you don't have a good time, it feels like it's forever, right? So time is really not something we have, but rather something we're in a relationship with. So when we come from the soul, we look at time in a totally different way. Unfortunately, on the day-to-day life, we're constantly rushed. We're constantly in a hurry. It's as if we're constantly trying to meet some kind of a deadline. So let me let you know that we're not here to meet a deadline. We're here to meet our destiny. And divine timing has its own sacred time. So always trust that you are where you are, and you are exactly where you need to be, because you're always in divine timing. I'm going to At the end, hi, hi, Diane from New Jersey. Hi, welcome. Let me see who's here too. Canada is here too. That's right. Tamara, I'm sorry. I missed you, but you are my girl. She was here a couple episodes ago reading her beautiful poetry. You guys should check it out. Episode 8, What Would Lulu Do? It's actually not on the live tab. We have technical issues, so it's on the just videos tab if you're checking it out. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to talk about after my guest, I'm going to have a book recommendation for you that I feel like can change your life. And it actually shows the difference between, it teaches you how to live beyond yourself, but it really focuses a lot on understanding the mind and how the mind works. I have a quote from, where is it? Where is it? Let's start bringing out the quotes. There we go. Your self concept is just a collection of thoughts about yourself, right? So when we're stuck in our own head and when we're stuck in our own thoughts, we create this idea of who we are. And part of it is that time that I was speaking about, because if we feel like if we are ones that always, even being rushed as kids, let's go to school, let's go to this, there's always that kind of energy around you. It doesn't allow your soul to be prominent. It doesn't give it the time that it deserves to be in its divine timing, right? You can heal when you're rushing. We cannot really hear the soul when the mind is yelling, right? We can't receive anything when we're in survival mode. And that's really, survival mode is really got to do a lot with how we run our time. So always, keep that in mind and keep that ego soul language, in check, because the ego is going to tell you that every second counts. But the soul is going to tell you that every second is sacred and you want to take your time and you want to be there, right? And inspirational beauty, if you're new to the show or if you're visiting us here for the first time, I always intertwine, I'm sorry, and align inner and outer beauty wisdom. That's what this show is all about. That's what my brand is all about. So on the outer beauty part of time, when we're stressed, the thing that comes a lot with stress as far as time and rushing and things like that is criticism. That's from my experience, my personal experience, my experience of working with people. A lot of time I see a lot of criticism, and when we look in the mirror, we get to the point, of criticizing ourselves a lot of times. So when you look at yourself, don't look at yourself to fix yourself. Look at yourself to see the embodiment of the divine within you. Don't look at everything as flaws. Look at them as symbols. Your eyes are portals. Your uh, wrinkles and your scars are maps. They are maps to the life that you had and the life that you are living, right? Even our skin is literally a temporary home to something that is eternal. So we always want to try to come and live from the soul. I wrote this quote for you guys too. Don't live to fix yourself. Live to express yourself. So the divine within, wants you to be reminded of that. So tomorrow morning, and hopefully every morning that you can remember that when you start your day, take a deep breath and tell yourself, today I'm going to walk with my soul in the front rather than the stress and rather than the rushing and rather than the ego mind. I'm going to let my soul lead me. Um, Thank you everybody for the live chat. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Let me see who else is here. Oh, Canada is here. I saw that. Sorry. Let's see who's here. Good morning. Originally from Chicago, transplanted in Utah. So glad to be here. Hi, Rin. Thank you so much. I used to live in Chi-Town. Hey, and I was just in Utah for the first time last year. Love it. So yeah, so I'm going to bring my guest because she has so much to share, and I don't want to take too much of the time. I just want to remind you really to live from your soul always, to not rush, to not stress, to remember that every second doesn't really just count. Every second is sacred. And the point of power is always in the present moment. And when we're mindful, we can come from here rather than from here. We can shut up the noise a little bit. Uh, oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, all right. So I'm going to introduce you to my guest. I've known her for a few years already. She's a wonderful woman. First of all, so I won't remember if you guys are here, I'm always trying to remind myself about the segments because everything belongs to a segment, and yet I always forget to introduce the segment. So today's conversation is part of a segment called Soul Sanction. And although it speaks about spiritual well-being, when we're gonna touch in our conversation is gonna be a combination of all of them. But the soul to me is our highest, and I'm excited to bring that angle to it from spiritual point of view as well. So Michal is Michal Spiegelman, or I hope I'm pronouncing. I know how to pronounce it in Hebrew. I don't know how she pronounced it in English. I need to check it with her when I bring her on stage. But she's an incredible mentor, first and foremost, to me and to many. She is my personal Reiki master. She founded Beacons of Change, which does all it does in the world is bring light and love. If you don't know it, I'll bring up the website. You have to check it out. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's a social worker. She does so much, truly, and I'm just excited to have her here. So, without further ado, let me bring Michal to the stage. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Lulu-Lee. Oh my God, that's so funny. I have to say before I say anything else, like the video that you just had introducing me. I think I'm
Uh-huh.
wearing the same shirt, but but the funny thing is my lipstick actually, because in this clip that you showed, I have a really strong lipstick,
Right,
stronger
yes,
than I have now, and it's so funny you chose that. It brings a memory right away because I live in Atlanta now. When I lived in New York, that's when we met,
hmm,
and you went through my Reiki training, and I attended some of your workshops, and we also had a private consultation. I learned a lot about skincare from you, and I did a
right,
consultation with you about makeup. And one of the things I really loved about your makeup and skincare classes was how you're so natural in your approach, and it's all about natural beauty, and I love it. And when I watch how you do makeup for celebrities and people, I say, wow, she's so talented. So the conversation you and I had was about natural beauty, and I think you recommended some products, and one of the products that you recommended had a very natural tone of lipstick, which I loved. But then I realized, and I shared it with you, that sometimes when I speak, I really need to put on like a strong lipstick, like red or like magenta or
right,
something that
right.
doesn't even align with this perspective of like natural, beauty
Yeah.
or shades. So in this clip that you showed, it is one of my strongest
Right.
lipstick,
Yeah, I
and it's
remember.
just
I
funny,
remember. I know. I love because I remember I was telling you, you're on Zoom, so a lot of people are watching your mouth. So you want to put a little bit more emphasis on it and just keep everything else natural. So I guess that was part of that
right?
time. But I still love it. I think it looks great on you. It really brings out beautiful
Right.
color. I want to say something real quick before you continue. I don't know if you can hear it or the audience can hear it, but I'm hearing static when you're
You
speaking a
do?
little bit from, I don't know if it's a mic or headphones. So I'll just let you know if it continues. I think when you come
Okay.
closer it is, and when you're back up it's better. So let's just keep an eye
I
on
have my
that.
AirPods. I can take them off, but I think it should be best. I always speak with the AirPods, so it should be good
No,
now.
now you're
Um,
fine. I'll let you know if
okay.
I hear it again.
Okay.
Um,
Wonderful.
Let's see. We have and yes, and Michal is amazing. So wait, let's get that out of the way too. Is it Spiegelman or Spiegelman?
It's Spiegelman.
Spiegelman.
Yes, and Michal is how you say it in Hebrew, and here in the US I say Michal just to make it easier for people. So either Michal or Michal, it's perfectly okay.
Okay, Sandy is here from the UK. Welcome, Sandy. Thank you for being here. Everybody's showing love to Michal. She is extraordinary. I love it. Thank you for being here. And oh, see, they're hearing the static too. Joanne is telling us.
Oh,
So we're going to
really?
keep an eye on that. And it comes
Mhm.
and goes, but let's just see what's happening.
So let's try something, okay?
Okay.
Let's see what happens when I speak without the AirPods.
Okay.
Is it better now or not?
Yeah, I mean the sound is a little lower, but it's
Right.
perfect because I'd rather you
Okay.
be a little lower with no static than yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I do want to say just maybe two more things, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
First of all, I see incredible beacons from my community who are communicating through the comments, and thank you so much for being here. Some of you have been with me last night in a class I hosted that Lulu-Lee was there too, and you're
Yep.
here this morning, and I just love my community, and I love that they're here to support us. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I loved so many things you said in your monologue, and you really
Thank you.
speak this message of living with soul. I wrote down here in my journal. I took notes. We don't have to meet a deadline. We're here to meet our
Our
destiny.
destiny. Yeah.
And I think that that's just beautiful. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for saying that.
Of
How you
course,
guys-
thank you. It's I think I heard it from you. Are you familiar with Dr. Wayne Dyer?
Of course.
So he's my biggest mentor. So he speaks so beautifully about the soul's journey. So every time I listen to him, I kind of pick up on things. I pick up on things, and then all of a you know, it all registers. And then when
Yes.
I speak about something, I try to channel his energy. So I'm glad it came out that way.
Okay. Beautiful.
And I'm sharing here before you start. Anybody, please, I would love, and I'm sure Michal would love too, to hear from you guys. You know, what does it mean for you to live from the soul? I gave you a little angle from time. Michal is going to share a few more, but share with us too. What does it mean for you to live from the soul? How do you see that in your life? But go ahead, Michal. Please introduce us to your way of being. I know you created a whole method that is called the soulful, right?
Yeah, the soulfulness method. That's my method, and I wrote a book. My book is called Becoming Soulful. You can see the cover on the wall behind me.
Yes.
Six for profound transformation, and I want to actually start and maybe talk in general about what does it mean to live with soul before we get a little bit into each one of the six.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. And I know we spoke about it yesterday too, that a lot of people, you know, are acting like everything is okay. I was even saying it in my promos, in my stories, but inside there's some kind of an emptiness or anxiety or things that, you know, that they don't allow the outside to show. And there's a dissonance and non-alignment between what's on the inside and really what they show out. And I know we spoke about it, that you see that a lot in your work. So I would love for you to kind of take it from there too.
Sure. Yeah. So that's actually a really good opening. Why do we see so many of us that are doing the right things and can check all the box and still something feels empty inside? And I have to say that I see it all the time and I hear it in all my conversations through my private sessions, my workshops, my classes, even when I do deep healing trauma work with people and I help people to break through. We get to a point where they're healed, or I mean, we can never heal completely, but healed so much better than they were before, and they broke through resistance and fear and worries, and they vibrate from such a higher level, and yet they feel this sense of emptiness sometimes inside. And I'm curious to ask the people that are here, do you remember a time in your life when you were supposed to feel complete and whole, but there was it didn't really how you felt, even though to the outside world it looked perfect, or it looked like you're supposed to. Does it ever happen? Does it ever happen to you, or did it happen to you in the past? I'm curious to ask that. When I was a new social worker, like over 30 years ago, I was so excited, to serve and help people. And it was within a few months that I felt that something in me didn't feel complete and didn't feel like a whole, and I didn't even know that all my personal trauma that I already healed at that stage was not enough for me, and what I was suffering from was a disconnection from my soul. It took me years to understand that. And the question is why do we have this gap between how we look to the outside and what happens inside us? So just a few reasons why it happens. First of all, many times we are doing the right things, but we're following someone else's expectations or someone else's definition of success, not our soul definition of success. Another reason is that we taught to prioritize productivity and external achievement, like you already said in your opening monologue. We were never taught how to tune into ourselves and how to connect inwardly, and be connected from the inside. Deep down, our soul craves and wants meaning and purpose and joy. And especially in today's world, like you were talking about timing, there's so much technology and overflow of information and distractions in a way that it's so easy to get caught in all this living externally rather
Absolutely.
than living internally.
Absolutely. And the way you said it too, because I'm in my position, I've been doing personal work for years, and yet still you constantly understand that how to live from your soul with just things that are happening in your life regularly. And you're like, oh, I was disconnected in here. Or even what you said about success. The world looked at me as the most successful, especially traveling, coming to New York, doing what I'm doing. I didn't feel that way because success to me was a number in the bank. And I spoke about it in another episode in here
Right.
when we did work on the. So when that didn't align, I felt unsuccessful, and I felt on the inside like I'm failing. I'm failing myself. I'm failing my children. So I can so understand and connect to what you're saying, and I think it's so important to understand that really the expectation or the idea of what we have can be so different than what's inside.
Right. And I invite everybody to really reflect with yourself for a minute. What does it mean for you to live with your soul? And just looking at what Joanne wrote, deep listening to my heart, honoring my essence, sacred alignment, respect and consideration, mindful intentions, shining on and sharing with the world. I have to tell you a secret. Joanne is very advanced in that because she did a lot of soul work already.
I
But that's
love it.
so beautiful how you phrased it. And Reen, who is also a member of my community,
Yes.
from the
Go ahead.
soul means to live honestly, fully, and purely. Exactly. And I want to give an example from even this morning. What does it mean to live with soul? So actually, I want to say that I'm writing another book, and in my second book now, that the working title, I'm not sure if it will be the final one, the working title is Guided from Within.
Love
And
that.
I give some practical ways, and I present some practical ways to live guided from within, because again, like we said, now we're so used to live in an external world. So guided from within is a way of life, and becoming soulful or live with soul is a way of life. But we have to have some practices in place, to daily practices, weekly
Right.
practices. We have to have some practices in place. And I know you have your practices, I have my practices. And in my second book, I talk about non-negotiables and negotiables. Like, for example, our morning practice for me needs to be non-negotiable. Every day we have to start the day with some way of inner connection. That's non-negotiable. But how exactly we start our day can be different.
Yes.
So this morning, when I woke up, I knew that I always start my day treating myself with Reiki when I'm still in bed. But then I knew, like every day, the way I start my morning need to be, or I want it to be intentional, something where I go inward. So some days I sit quietly in meditation. But today, as soon as I tune into my soul, I received the clarity right away that I need to start with a walk outside. I need to be outside in nature, and actually preparing for this. Like if you asked me yesterday, I would say I will wake up early in the morning, do my practices, and then I'll sit with my notes. I didn't even check my notes this morning. My soul guided me to just go out and take a walk in nature. And something else is that, my soul loves music, and I want to actually ask everybody, what does your soul love?
Right. And I want to say too, because Tamara wrote here in the comments that we need to live our own personal truth. And I think that is so important. It's hard to understand our truth. That's the work of living from the soul. But that's one of the biggest things is, if we follow our truth, if we listen, then just like you did, when you listen to the truth of your soul, you know that, okay, today I need to walk outside rather than, do what I thought I'm supposed to do. Oh, thank you. This is my friend from elementary school, and we just got reconnected after I think like 30 something years. Hi, thank you for being here, Shaul. I appreciate you. Let me see a few more comments. The biggest love affair you will ever have is with yourself. Absolutely. Let me see. Halo says, for me, living from the soul means engaging in a path that brings me joy and offers value to others. Waking up with a smile, feeling that I'm making a difference and that my heart is aligned. That is beautiful. I think there is more because usually the comments are longer than what is allowing me to show. So I walk in difference. I can't. It's cutting it off, but I will see it a little bit later. So I don't know, Michal, can you see it?
I can see the
Working with this
comments. I see the comments.
different and okay. Is aligned with my mind. Okay, now I got to see it. It showed me the end.
Yeah,
Music and Rin says music and painting is what her soul loves. I love it.
exactly.
And
Beautiful.
Joanne says, yes, tuning in, what lights you is what lights you up. Lulu-Lee, follow and listen to your truth. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Thank
I want to challenge everybody a little bit, okay? Beautiful comments, and some of the things that you write in the comments are things that I want to say we already know. We know them through mindfulness, which is a practice that I'm sure that many of us practice. But I want to go a little deeper with that and say that soulfulness, for me, is the new mindfulness. It uses mindfulness as a foundation, but it takes it to the next level, because when we tune into our soul, it's not only the connection that all of us are talking about, and it's not only following our truth, it's actually much deeper than that. I'm talking about dialoguing, having a conversation with our inner wisdom, with our soul, with the wisdom of our body. And when I say dialoguing, so we need to have practical ways to dialogue with the soul, because we can say everything you said is a really good foundation, but how do we really live with soul? How do we do it in a practical way? For example, I'll give an example. In my book, Becoming Soulful, I introduced the concept of soul dialogue. And soul dialogue is a practice that once you practice it over time, it becomes like a second nature. Like this morning, I didn't have to do any formal connection with my soul to connect inwardly and know that I have to bash the notes, forget about the notes, go outside, walk in nature, and listen to music. I didn't have to. My soul was speaking to me, and I listened. But it wasn't always like that. So in the book, I present a process that you can go through where you connect first with mindfulness, and then there are some soul invocation word when you connect to your soul, and you close your eyes. And once you are connected with your soul, you ask a question, and like and different questions for different situations. But the basic question will be, dear soul, what wisdom do you have for me today? And if you
Mm,
only do this
love that.
practice for 5 minutes, where you close your eyes, you go inwardly, you connect with life force energy in any way that feels right for you, you pull down the thoughts from the thinking mind to the body. And once you're connected, you ask this question internally: dear soul, what wisdom do you have for me today? And either you take your journal out and for 5 minutes you just write, not without stopping. You
Yeah,
let
intuitive writing.
Exactly. And you just let your soul speak, or you can do it through a meditation. But what I want to encourage everybody is to take mindfulness to the next level, and think about some practices like soul dialogue. And I share many more in my book about taking it really to the next level. So it's wider and deeper than being mindful with ourselves and being true to ourselves. Does it make
Yes.
sense?
Absolutely, absolutely, because it is the reason why a lot of time, like we said, we can be one way on the inside and another on the outside, because it's like the usual thing that we know we can try to do, but sometimes healing is so much deeper than that, that you have to have a deeper conversation with yourself. And you
Exactly.
don't want to have it with your mind, you want to have it with the soul. So I love that. I know also that you have and I'm sharing your social media too and your website, and I will share a QR code to your book too in a minute. So anybody that wants to purchase the book, it's incredible. You guys can just scan the QR code. It's a link to the Amazon. But I know in the book you really break it down and have 6 keys
Right.
to the method. So if you can kind of touch on them a little bit, I would love to hear those.
Right. Yes. So I'll do a quick touch through the keys, and I'll try to bring some practical examples. So you can see the map behind me of the 6 keys. I also have it in front of me. Six keys for profound transformation. That's an illustration that you have in the book, and you can also download it through the book and have your own copy. But basically, there are 6 ways to connect inwardly, and there are 6 keys for profound transformation. The first key is the key of empowerment. The second key is the key of spirituality. And let me just talk for a minute about these 2 keys. So the key of empowerment invites us to connect to our inner resources, to our attributes, who we really are, and our values. So important to connect to our values. So we are in touch with our personal power. Like, for example, when I witness Lulu-Lee grow throughout the years, and I remember how you were, back in New York, and when I was there, like maybe 8, 9 years ago,
2019, yeah, 2018, something like that.
before the pandemic. And then I see you now. And also when I witness myself and many other people in my community, then this growth that we experience, like having the courage to step out of our comfort zone, have to be aligned with values and have to be aligned with our inner qualities and our inner attributes. But if we only tap into our personal power, empowerment is the first key. It
Right.
may feel heavy to just journey this, to go through this journey alone. That's why we need the second key. The second key is the key of spirituality. And in my book, I present the map of spirituality that you can also see behind me. This is the map of spirituality, which gives you a practical, okay, here it is, which gives you a practical way to work with your human self and with your divine self, guided by your soul, to connect to something bigger. So we really need to tap into our own power and then spiritual power. And then comes the third key, the key of authenticity, which talks about the connection with the soul, which is really our topic for today. And once you connect to your wisdom, to the inner wisdom you have, and also to wisdom around you, not only your inner wisdom, but just wisdom in general.
Yeah.
And once you let your soul speak, then you get your insight and clarity, not only from your intellect, but from another type of intellect, which is the intuitive intellect and the wisdom of your soul. That's the third key.
Right.
Make
And I,
sense
and
so far?
yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I think what you're saying, in what you're saying too, to emphasize is I think when we do listen, it's the collective wisdom, it's divine wisdom, it's
Exactly.
inner wisdom, it's the things that we heard when we grew up and we took upon ourselves that actually did empower us. Because, we always talk about, oh, our limiting beliefs come from this and this, not just limiting beliefs. There are many empowering things that we heard and that we grew up with. So I think there's resonance of so many different things that are contributing to a whole of wisdom that we can tap into that creates the soul's wisdom.
Exactly. And then the next key, key number 4, the key of insight, tapping into inner and collective wisdom, exactly what you were talking about, really allows us a way to make decisions, to make choices that are truly aligned with our truth and our soul. And just to give an example, you and I met in New York. We lived in Atlanta, my husband and I, for 15 years. And then I had this deep sense of knowing, really guidance from my soul, when we became empty nesters, that we're ready to start a new adventure. We moved to New York. My husband was on board. It was wonderful. After 7 years, out of the blue, without even thinking about leaving New York, one time we came to visit Atlanta. We were driving here. I just heard a message really from within. It was not, I didn't hear the message. It was a sense of knowing. And I was even nervous to ask my husband, like, what if we moved back? And then 4 months later, we're here already in Atlanta. I didn't even know why. Now I know that I was meant to write my book here in Atlanta for different reasons. But
Mm.
was it a mistake that I was guided to move to New York? Absolutely not. But then my
Yep.
soul guided me to do something else, and I trusted that. So
Yeah, and,
that's
and I think we can enjoy life in such a higher level of frequency when we do listen, because doubt is the stiller of everything, but from joy to really what we can define as success, to growth, to healing, everything. When we doubt ourselves and don't allow intuition to lead us, that's kind of when things get caught up, where we stop ourselves
right,
from living
exactly.
in that divine connection.
And the soulfulness is really about this deeper conversation with ourselves.
Right.
When mindfulness, we notice, we observe, but then we don't relate. When we add soulfulness, we deepen the conversation with ourselves, and then we can live life to the fullest, which
Yes.
leads to the next key, the key of vitality. We all leak life force energy, and actually the book that you're going to share about after we're done with my segment, he talks a lot about blocks, inner blocks, because of resistance, how it creates inner blocks. And in my language, we leak life force. He talks about it as well. And we leak life force. We leak life force every day in our life, just living in today's world with what's going on in the world,
We
not to
leak
mention.
life. What does leak mean?
To leak life force means that we wake up in the morning with an optimized level of life force energy that's supposed, like we're fully energized. Like, for
Oh,
example,
it leaks, like it's leaking.
it's leaking. Yes, like, yeah,
Oh, okay,
yes,
got it, got
like
it.
your phone is charged in the morning, but then if it's dead at the end of the day, you need to recharge it, right?
Right,
You need
right.
life force, right? Now, the key of vitality is really essential also because we all must have a way, a practice to connect with life force energy daily, and to recharge our emotional batteries. And you mentioned that you trained with Reiki with me. And Reiki is one of the ways how it's a tangible way to connect with life force energy. It's not the only way. And I'm curious if people can write in the comments, what is your favorite way to
Way
connect
to connect. Right. I was just
with
thinking that
life?
too.
So some of you are part of my Reiki community, so I'm sure you write Reiki, but it can be yoga, it can be other practices.
Yeah.
But that's how you and I actually connected, right?
Right,
And
right.
I assume that Reiki is still part of your life.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the ways that I chose to, because healing and in that way Reiki changed my life completely, and just the understanding that I can heal myself and I have the power to do that, and I dealt with different physical challenges, from back injury to breast cancer, to cyst in my uterus. All of them, I used Reiki and for self healing, and it worked, and it brought more energy into my life. But one of the things that I did too was going more vegan. So nutrition was a big part for my vitality. It really changed how I felt in my body. I felt like when I ate animal meat, it changed me, and it's personal to everyone, right? But when I gave it up, I really felt the vitality getting higher and higher in my body, because it doesn't weigh me more, or the digesting doesn't take too long. So that was personally for me a big part of my change in my vitality, and sleeping too.
Yes, and that's such a good point. And when I think, every time I teach Reiki, actually, I say that Reiki is a foundational way, or a tangible way, to connect with life force energy. But once your vitality, once you have a raised vitality, then you can really see what else in your life, how to support your vitality, like you said, through nutrition, through exercise. And it's interesting when I look at the comments, and,
Yes.
and all of you here who are members of my Reiki community, it's interesting that you present other ways as well. Like Rin says, Reiki, loving it, meditation and praying as well. And then Joanne said breathwork, Reiki, yoga, nature. Halo says walking on the beach, talking to myself. And it's an expansion of ways how can you raise your vitality level. But I encourage everybody to really challenge yourself to think how you lick life first. What do you have in your life daily
Drains you.
that
What drains you?
exactly that drains you completely, and how can you raise your vitality level, which really lead to the sixth key, the key of embodiment, embracing the body as a gateway to the soul. So many people live disconnected from the body, and we need to anchor all that in an embodiment and listen to the wisdom of our soul. I have to say, after so many years, 3 decades of doing this work and helping so many people, I have my moments again and again and again when my body speaks to me and say, hey, you're not paying attention. So here is a symptom. Here is a condition. Listen. And then I'm like, okay, I need to listen deeply, not only to the wisdom of my soul, but also to the wisdom of my body.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you said, because, when I spoke about my breast cancer journey and I said I manifested it, people thought I was crazy. Like, what do you mean? I said, that's the way for my body to let me know that I'm not taking care of it, or the soul is going through something that needs a little bit more tuning, and I need to listen. And it's just the physical way of, it's really a combination between the two. The mind body connection to me is so profound. They're talking to us in ways that, if you don't hear the soul, I'm going to let you listen to the body, so maybe you can tune back into the soul and kind of figure it all out together. But yeah, I truly resonate with what you're saying. I love that. So did you we went to all six keys?
Yes, quickly, very
That
quickly.
was great. I want to say one thing. I think Halo said something. Being authentic is living from the soul, in my opinion. I agree, but then again, I think it's just part of it, because just like you say, like you showed now in the six keys, there is more to just one thing. It's a combination of so many things. And again, if you guys want to read deeper into that, you guys are welcome to get Michal's book. Let me put that. I think I have a picture of the book as well. So let's take us off the stage. There you go. Becoming Soulful. The six keys for profound transformation in your therapy, coaching, and healing practices. So whenever you're ready, guys, you get the book is on Amazon, and you can get it from there. In conclusion, because I can talk to you for another 700 hours, but I do want to recommend the book for everybody here. Wait, there we go. Give the audience any kind of tip or something that tomorrow they can start. Like I said, for me, tomorrow morning when you wake up still in bed, just tell yourself, today I'm going to let the soul walk in the front of
Right.
me,
So
right there.
Yeah, so I want to end just reading a quote from my book and encourage everybody to ask yourself what in this quote speaks to you and what part of what I'm going to read to you is something that you can start even small to connect deeply with your soul in this area. Okay, and it's actually a short quote, but let me just read it. Becoming soulful means recognizing that every aspect of our lives, from the food we eat, to the clothes we wear, to the spaces we create around us, to the dreams we fulfill, presents a canvas to express our deepest values. And what is it for you? If you think about, I mentioned food, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the spaces we create around us, and the dream we fulfill. Of course, there are other areas like relationship and stuff, but even from those four life areas, what area is an area for you when you can be intentional about connecting more with your soul and start this deepen the connection and to deepen the conversation with your
Yes.
soul.
Yes, I love that. Listen, the soul dialogue is something that I do often, but I'm gonna deepen it now with those 6 keys. I wrote them last night at the Zoom already, so that because I knew that's why I jumped on it because I didn't want to be writing the whole time we're on the show, but I knew how powerful they are. So from the book, but I wanted to get it pinpointed. So I want to truly thank you for being here, for sharing your wisdom, for sharing your light, for sharing your energy. I'm excited to always hear you speak because you really always truly help me connect. Even if it's the way you speak and you're soft spoken, or the energy that you bring, or of course the content of what you say, it's always highest
Thank you.
frequency available. So thank you for being part of my show and for showing love and support and giving my community, inspirational beauty community, your community, and everybody who wants to live from the soul, more wisdom and more ways to do that. So I truly, truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Lulu.
Of course, thank you. And you guys, I'm going to keep sharing Michal's information here if you wanna stay around. Of course, I'm going to talk a couple of words about recommending the book that I wanted to share with you guys that both Michal and I spoke about. This is also, and please stay live on the chat because we're still here. So I would love to hear from you. This is something else that if you're here and you want to check out, this is a mindful beauty gift from me that is about inner and outer beauty connection to the soul. So anything from meditation to natural masks that you can create for yourself, some exercises on how to deepen the connection with your soul. Please feel free to get that. I'll be happy to gift you that. A couple of questions to let me know what you're about in this QR code, and then the PDF is going to wait for you in your email address. You can also connect with me too on Chat with Lulu-Lee. That's the email address for the show. So always love to hear from you guys. Next week's show is What Would Lulu Do? If you've never been here before, it's a segment that sometimes become a full show too, that I did in honor of my best friend and my son's godmother who passed away, that always told me I need a show to tell people what I would do in their situation. So please feel free to send your questions. I already have such amazing questions. That's why I'm doing it again, because they're been bombarded with incredible shares, and I'm so grateful for you guys for even sharing with me what you're going through and wanting my insight on it. So chat with Lulu-Lee to anything. If you want to be part of the show, if you want to be on the show, if you want to, I do poetry, we do books, whatever you have to share. This stage is for all of us. This is a community for all of us. I always say this show is not about perfection, it's about connection, and that's what we hear. So please connect with me in any platform, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let me know what you want to hear about and what you want to talk about. I do want to share with you about the book. This is the book we're going to speak about. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And I'm going to read a little quote from it as well. Actually, I'm going to read one page from it. I do need my glasses for that. Unfortunately, some ages hit and then The body speaks to us in a totally different way. Um, a couple of words if you're not familiar with this incredible book. It really is a life changing book. So it begins by walking you through your relationship with your thoughts and emotions, helping you uncover the source and fluctuations of your inner energy. We all fluctuate with our inner energy. It then delves into what you can do to free yourself from the habitual thoughts and emotions and energy patterns that limit your consciousness. Finally, with perfect clarity, this book opens the door to a life lived in the freedom of your innermost being. It really is such an incredible book. Some of it might feel heavy, some of it might feel easy, but the way he explains it, and actually, he gives such perfect example to understand, first of all, what consciousness is, which is awareness. So where does our awareness go to? We can be aware of one thing, or we can be aware of another. We can be aware of many things simultaneously, or we can be stuck on one thing, like watching TV, and not even be aware of anything that goes around us. That's kind of a way of how the mind works. So you can see your awareness and control your awareness by understanding who's in here thinking, right? We want to understand that we're not our thoughts. If we can see our thoughts, we're not our thoughts, right? So I think that's a huge part of understanding how the mind works, and how the soul language can develop and the soul dialogue can develop. Um, Let me read. Thank you. Everybody's saying thank you. I appreciate you. I see you still here live with me, so I'm loving it. Um, and that is beautifully said. Thank you, Rin. I'm not sure what are we talking about, but I love it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it and felt that it was beautifully said. Thank you, Michal. It was very interesting. Yes, Michal is still backstage. She can still see all your comments, so feel free to stay with us. I do want to read this one page from the book for you guys. The inside of one's psyche is a very complex, sophisticated place. It is full of conflicting forces that are constantly changing due to both internal and external stimuli. This results in wide variation of needs, fears, and desires over relatively short periods of time. We're all over the place, people. Because of this, very few people have the clarity to understand what's going on in there. There is just too much happening at once to follow the cause and effect relationships between all of our different thoughts, emotions, and energy level. As a result, we find ourselves struggling just to hold it all together. And that kind of brings me to what Michal and I spoke about in the beginning, where in the outside, it feels like, everything is okay, but in the inside, you're really just trying to hold it all in together. When you're lost and struggling with all these psychological and energetic changes, you are suffering. While it may not seem to you that you're suffering, compared to what it can be, you are suffering. In truth, the very responsibility of having to hold it all together, it's in itself a form of suffering. You notice this most when things start to fall apart outside of yourself. Your psyche goes into turmoil and you have to struggle to hold your inner world together. But what exactly are you trying to hold on to? The only thing in there are your thoughts, emotions, and movements of energy, none of which are solid. They are like clouds, simply coming and going through vast inner space, but you keep holding on to them as though consistency can substitute for stability, as though consistency can substitute for stability. We keep holding on to the thoughts, to the emotion, to all of those things. The Buddhists have a term for this: clinging. I know we're all familiar with that term at one point of our life or another. In the end, clinging is what the psyche is all about. I could keep reading and reading from this, but it truly is such an amazing book. I highly recommend reading it. It will change your life. Together with Michal's book, you are on a path to live the beauty of the soul. And you know what I did? What I tell you guys in the beginning, I always try to remind myself about the segment. I didn't remember the segment, so I'm going to do it right now because it is part of the segment, and this is what we just.
We could stay right here.
Inspiration between the lines is the segment for reading and book recommendation, and I would love to get some from you guys. So again, if you have read something lately that inspired you, did it leave a profound impression on you? I would love to hear about it. Share it with me so I can share it with others here on the live show. Um, there is this segment that I love, and we haven't talked about it yet. And I want you to see that. Please write me about it because I want to bring some guests up to this segment. I don't know if you're familiar with this game, Never Have I Ever, but I'm changing this up. And it's Never Have I Ever thought I would, but I did. And this is the place where we remember who the we are, because we all been through things and they never thought we could and never thought we would, but we did. So share with me on the email, chat with Lulu-Lee, like I said before. Connect with me, let me know so I can bring you up to the show, so I can bring you up to the live stage. All the episodes from before are still here on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook page, IB with Lulu-Lee or Inspirational Beauty with Lulu-Lee. I want to say thank you again to my guest and to all of you for keeping the chat live, for being here with me, for sharing love, sharing light, living from your soul. Here is the one thing Michal said that is a reminder. Dear soul, what wisdom do you have for me today? So let's share our day, start our day with questions. And, don't forget, I have my support team in here. We're all caring, we're all kind. It's all about the love. And like I started speaking about time, I'm going to close as always with talking about time. It's the one commodity that you can never get back. So the fact that you chose to share yours with me, I deeply appreciate it. Thank you, as always, for coming for the beauty, but staying for the breakthrough. I'll see you guys next week. Many blessings.
Show me life, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love, show me life, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love, this is all we got. Show me life, show me love, this is all we got. Show me love, show me love.